Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Real Estate. It is Wednesday, March 1st. March 1st. Good golly, Miss Molly, how are we in March already? Ryan is too slow with his Make It Big app. We've got so much stuff to share today, honestly.
Fire hose.
Yeah, exactly. Fire hose. But we'll try to make it. We'll try to give you sort of priority of importance, and also some of it for me is sharing fails. Things that I did that aren't working, but that also help me get more clarity around what is working and what will be working in the future. Look at that. Is that Kurt Angle? Kurt Angle fire hosing it. So do us a huge favor, whatever platform you are tuning in from, please like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever other thing you can do.
Tag a teammate.
Tag a teammate, tag a referral partner from across the country. Let's get as many folks here engaging, commenting, sharing, etc., etc. If you're listening on the podcast, do us a huge favor, subscribe, rate, and review. Smash the like button and tag a teammate. All right, so Ryan and I have lots of tactical things to share, some experiments to share, some failed things. And honestly, some of it was probably going to have to wait till tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to be on here forever, which is good. Keeps you guys tuned in and plugged in for future sessions as well. As always, we're going to quickly go over some mortgage and real estate news, social post of the day, and then we're going to get into more tactical lead generation and lead conversion stuff that we're doing and playing with, and getting dialed in for selling more homes, helping more clients, all of the above. So, Ryan, why don't we start with some mortgage news and real estate related news? So, up slightly from yesterday. Yesterday was down slightly from Monday. So it's just, a little ebb and flow here, but nothing major.
We're still in the sixes. Just to remind everybody, historically low. I think we're going way higher, Josh. I'm a pessimist.
It's funny that you say that because there are many real estate experts saying that we're going to be down in the low fives by the end of the year.
Optimists.
So, I guess,
Optimists.
Yeah, I guess,
they're not looking at the data.
The reality is no one knows for sure.
They're not looking at the data. I'm becoming more and more certain, Josh. Anyway, okay. we can comment down below if you think I'm who you think's right. Are rates going down or rates going up? And there's going to be a bias because you want them to go down.
Right. That's true. You're going to find, that's the thing with interpreting any data, right?
Yeah,
it's how you want to see it. It's how you want to interpret it. It's what you want to
is
see.
That confirmation bias? I don't know. Is that
something like that? Something like that.
So mortgage demand has dropped to a 28-year low. What? That seems weird to me because we're in season. Things feel busy to us, don't they?
Mortgage rates dropped to a 28-year low. I would say that. Well, that data is probably lagging.
Yep.
And I can tell you that, and I was going to bring this up just because I like to be transparent and authentic here. I've been in a sales slump. And I will tell you that December and January were real slow. So some of that is probably lagging data, but things are definitely picking up. In fact, this morning, and this is one of the things I'm going to share, I shot out a little text blast about an off MLS property, a for sale by owner that I was texting with yesterday after noon using the text script that we shared on yesterday's session, that there is also a deep dive on the channel at Wake Up Real Estate. Using that exact same scripting, she agreed to a finder's fee, and it happens to be, I'm going to get into this more, but it happens to be a property that fits a hashtagged segment in my list. So I blasted that out this morning. I've had lots of responses, a whole bunch of no's, not interested, stop, whatever, but 5 interactive conversations, of which I'm certain at least 2 or 3 are going to turn into a private VIP tour of this for sale by owner.
Great. Just some comments. Ernest is saying we need apps to drop, which should put your rates down to track and buy. Yeah, supply demand, maybe. But I think the Fed, Jerome Powell's running the ship. But yeah, maybe. I mean, that's a really good point, Ernest. And then true Facebook user, whoever you are, Facebook doesn't show us. It does not matter up or down. It will never be low enough for some.
Oh, it's Chris Pataki. Chris Pataki. I know from his naming structure. I wish Facebook would just show us the user, but whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's from the Facebook group, the Wake Up Real Estate Facebook group. Go ahead and hop in there, guys, if you're not in there already, to join the conversation.
Right on.
So Josh, can I jump to the social posts and let you get to some of your time?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's check it out.
I went a little doom and gloom today. I'm trying to tie it into the mortgage updates, but I posted basically a kind of like, what would you call it? A commentary editorial. I took a YouTube video from one of my favorite YouTubers, the Maverick of Wall Street. I linked to the timestamp where he talks about why the pending home sales news going up this week is actually bad news for the economy.
You kind of mentioned that yesterday too.
Yeah. So just a continuation. This would be an example of a post where you're commenting on the macroeconomics. I like to weave in just raw property data. Fun stuff like the cocaine bear, about and then you weave in some of this like more geeky macroeconomic stuff. So there's a little screenshot of an article from CNBC and a link to this channel that you guys can check out. Josh also mentioned that
you're taking a contrarian view.
Yeah.
To some degree, which is going to get some people engaging probably and curious and maybe asking questions or at least making them think.
I'm trying to also scare people into the idea that, hey, if rates are going to be 12 or 13 in a couple of years, like they were in the 70s, or 18 or whatever, maybe now rates are kind of low. So don't use that excuse not to buy.
Yeah.
Now, the counterpoint here, of course, that I'm not mentioning is I expect somebody savvy to comment and say, well, won't that mean home values go down? So it's a bad time to buy. But we'll leave that part out of the post.
So this is a great point with Lance on mortgage activity. Is it a lagging or leading indicator? When I talk with my preferred lender, he tells me his activity level is what his activity level is, and it is a leading indicator. So, but what that means is, application to home sale, right? So there's a lag in that period. What I'm saying more is that I maybe didn't use the right word. What I meant is that information is probably from December and January, where I did see personally, just if I'm using my personal experience, where I did see, we saw a significant drop in activity. Myself, my buyer agent locally here.
Seasonal though.
What's that?
We are talking about December.
Right. So I'm in Central PA. It's December, holiday season. It's January, cold and ugly. That is definitely part of that, at least, is seasonal. Although 2020, 2021, and even 2022, the activity was still strong through there because of all of the confluence of factors of low rates and low inventory. And so I think it's just returning back to a more normal seasonality or seasonal flow.
And we're rocking down here as expected in January. I'm sure some other Florida agents will concur because we've got everybody down here trying to be warm. So real estate is local.
Totally. So I've got a social post of the day, which relates to yesterday's one of yesterday's topics.
Cool.
Was the my Smokin' Hot Deals Smokin' Hot Deals email, of which I'm going to tie in several things with this here today. So let me share my screen.
Yep. And then a comment on the social post today, guys, and the website. We are in the process of putting these all on the website in a way that's easier to share with more commentary and links to the commentary. But that DNS issue is just about resolved. So if the site's not loading, you can curse me, but it's just about done being fixed. Go ahead, Josh.
And if you don't know what DNS means, any of that, it just means that he's making it cooler, better, faster.
But I'm breaking things along the way.
Yeah, just be patient with us. Use the YouTube community, and the Wake Up Real Estate Facebook group until that is resolved. But the way Ryan is building it out, you're going to be grateful in the long run, because we've been talking about it this morning, and it's pretty cool.
Lance is cracking me up.
Yeah. So I took Ryan's social post of the day idea, the meme that he made, and I R&D'd it for my Smokin' Hot Deals. So looking for a smoking hot real estate deal? Question mark. Check out 717deals.com. I also got 717 real estate deals, but I thought let's make it as short as possible, right?
Yeah, why not?
On a billboard, that's easy to remember. 717deals.com, right? So I got that. I got some other.
Where does it go? Where does it go? I'm gonna
yeah. So I got, but before we go there, I got some other cool vanity URLs, but I'm going to tease those for a special guest that we're going to have for a bonus session next Tuesday. It's more seller focused. I've got a couple of domains that I bought with the similar 717 theme, but specifically for sellers. Anyway, where does this go? Now, this brings me to one of the points that I wanted to discuss today, and in thinking through this. So it brings me to a landing page I made on KV Core.
You need to put like a house burning down or someone who's smoking hot in the background.
So fair point. Maybe make it more attention grabbing. But here's some takeaways I've got so far from promoting this idea. Number one, there have been 30 clicks to that landing page, 0 opt-ins. And Ryan, I think you agree that generally speaking, 8 to 10% on these kind of landing pages.
Where are the clicks coming from?
So they're all coming from Facebook.
Paid?
No, organic.
Okay. Organic, it should convert. I did notice that that might have been a thanks.io pop-up you had happen. You have the location script is in there. Let's get that out of your site.
Yes. So that's a great point. That could be throwing people off the scent for sure. But here's what so I had all these things going through my head because that was one of several things I did. I did a whole bunch of things yesterday around the 717 deals and the smoking hot deals. So what I've kind of come around and around to is a social post that I had shared. It was actually around Valentine's Day. So go back and find the Valentine's Day episode of Wake Up Real Estate. I made a social post that was looking for a sweetheart of a deal. Check out all the recently price reduced homes in Central PA. And that drove not to a landing page, but to an IDX squeeze page. So people could look at properties and then they were forced opt-in. That generated me 10 opt-ins. Now, I don't know. Actually, I do know how many people clicked. So I can actually pull that data. I'm going to pull that up on my phone.
And I'll go look on your Facebook. What was the registration set to? Is that like
it was set to 2. So they could look at 2 before it was going to force the registration. And that got 10 opt-ins from 142 clicks. So it's still less than 10%. Okay?
You know what the problem with the landing page is? And I asked for this. It's the phone number, even though it's optional.
Yeah.
It's the hey, I'm not giving you my phone number effect. There's too much commitment here.
Okay, so here's the takeaway. I am absolutely 100% running with the Smokin' Hot Deals email and doing that every Tuesday. Like, I'm all in on that. How I get more people to opt in for that is probably going to be something that I already know to be more proven, which is, and Mike actually made a campaign or is working on a new Facebook lead ad campaign this morning, and it's going to say, looking for a smoking hot deal here in Central PA? Get a free weekly list of recently priced reduced homes right here in Central PA. And
why reinvent the wheel?
Exactly. But I'm going to send them the smoking hot deals like exactly the way I showed on yesterday's session. So go back and check that one out. And I did post in the community, the YouTube channel, the community link. I posted the email, what that looked like. I posted a link where you could watch the video overview that I did. And you can kind of dive into that. All of that. So this is all data and information and ahas and takeaways from 24 hours, literally since yesterday. Right.
Yeah.
But none of this would have come about without doing stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Without actually taking action. So,
Josh,
yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Can I throw you off the trail a little because I don't want to forget to do this. As Mike's doing those ads, let's do a second one, same exact ad, but let's make the destination a squeeze link with registration off. Hear me out. And then let's have that bot allow that bot to show.
So you're saying to an IDX squeeze where they can actually search the recently price reduced
as
homes
much as they want,
completely turned off. Interesting.
And then if we want to go next level, we're going to totally geek out here. We can then take that traffic and retarget them back to a lead form ad.
A lead form ad where in that case, I might do, this is a report that I plan to have ready by the end of the week with 13 unique special financing programs available right now to help you buy your first or your next property.
So somebody comment down below. Are we losing you guys here with because we're not showing on the screen what we're talking about, but we are going to.
We're going to document all of this for you.
Yeah, we will.
But what you're, I think part of the value in this is to see in real time the thinking and the way you have to approach building out your business and specifically building out client acquisition pipelines.
Yeah.
Right. Because until you try a bunch of different stuff, you won't know what to do. And in fact, another thing I was doing this morning, because I've gotten enough feedback to know, okay, these are some things that I know to work, is I was creating some new Craigslist ads where my Craigslist sandwich, which is the offer or the call to action at the top and the call to action at the bottom, I have them specifically now on offers that I know people have responded to in some form or fashion, right? I'm not guessing. I have market data from my market that people will actually respond.
Josh, can I ask you a favor?
Yes.
Chill with the Craigslist sandwich. Michelle's got me intermittent fasting like daily in a 6-hour window, and the sandwich is killing me. But to your point,
wait, hold a minute. For those wondering, fasting for 6 hours is not going to be helpful. What you're saying is you're only eating in a 6-hour window.
Yeah, it's killing me.
Okay.
And I'm drinking too much coffee.
Yeah.
But to your point, buying the data is what you're doing in that campaign, and you're trying to figure things out. And if I can for a minute,
the campaign, but also with the social media posts and so forth. So you don't have to. Paying for the data is the fastest way to get the information. But if you don't have money, you can invest your time to get the data. If you are posting different offers and one of them pops, even if one of them gets 3 leads and none of the others got any, that's the market telling you this is more interesting, a frame or a way of offering. And that's been what happened for me. I took, so that Valentine's Day Central PA recently price reduced. I've tried several variations of that, offering fixer upper, multifamily with
tested it with organic.
Right.
It worked on organic amongst all the other massive action you're taking with your social posts. And then you say, hey, this worked. Let me go run some paid ads at this messaging. Is that kind of...
And the other thing I know is we have co-marketing partners in Florida, in North Carolina, and in Maryland, and
Kazakhstan.
1 or 2 other states where we're running that same style of offer. Get a free weekly list of recently price reduced homes, and it is killing it. So I've got we've got enough data to know that is an offer that will work. So now I'm going to double down on that. And what I'm layering on top of that offer is not only are they going to get a weekly automated search alert with the price reduced homes, they're also going to get my Smokin' Hot deals. So they're going to get something that is automated, behavioral automation, and then they're going to get something that's personal from me. And that combination is how I'm going to get more love letters, like the email we got yesterday from Jennifer, saying, I hope you'll help little old me who wants to buy their first home.
So
that's
guys,
how you stack that up.
So guys, what we're doing here, Josh and I have had a lot of successes in the past. For whatever reason, when both of us put our heads together, we come up with these funnels. And what we've probably been doing the last month is trying a bunch of different stuff. And you're hearing us run in circles, but there's a method to the madness.
Yeah.
And as we identify things in our markets that are swipe and deployable, that definitely work, you're going to get a step-by-step process.
Totally.
You'll get little 5-minute videos, do this. And that's what we're headed toward.
Yep. So somebody said I would like to get the 3-point financing. Absolutely, 100%. So I'm going to build it for myself, and then we're going to make it so that we can either, I'll just give you a copy and you can do it, or we can co-brand or co-market it together and help you with it. So one way or another, I got to build it for me first, right? That's the other thing with everything that we're doing. We're building it to scratch our own itch so that we can then help all of you scratch your itch, right? Like help, you guys all with, building your database, growing your database, nurturing your database, and ultimately more clients from all of that.
Yeah. And Lance was saying A/B test with bot and retarget. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. We're just going to try the two different flows there.
Totally.
And whatever works best is what we will share. Well, we'll share what doesn't too.
So I promised the thumbnail here, the thumbnail for today's session promised some email marketing tips and so forth. And so I want to make good on that in a couple of different ways. And then I know Ryan also has some early results from some PPC campaigns that he set up and documented on the channel on Monday. So you can go find a 6 or 7 minute video of Ryan setting up some test campaigns to directly get inbound phone calls, right? So yeah. Ryan will share that in a minute, but I want to make good on the email marketing tips. And I'm gonna give some kudos to Ryan. He doesn't even know that I'm doing this. But the first thing I want to share, and we're going to add this document to the community. I was trying to find an email template or script, whatever word you want to use, to send out to the seller portion of my database this morning. And I had the gist of what I wanted the email to be. And I knew that I had seen, I'd heard or seen this, I don't know. I remembered seeing something around this idea, and the idea being name your price. And I'll show you the email that I ended up doing. And I couldn't find the template that I was thinking. Like I knew, it's one of those things where, I know I have this thing, like, where is it? Whatever, like who was it that I got that from? And so when that stuff happens for me, because I've got so much stuff in Google Docs and Google Drives and so forth, I went searching in there and I found a report by none other than Ryan Hartman that has some great email templates.
Do you know that was originally written and has been repurposed like 5 times over the last decade?
Yep.
That was originally a Reticulous lone wolf type thing.
Yep. So we will put the link to this in the community and in the Wake Up Real Estate Facebook group.
It'll end up on the website.
But there are great, there are some great email templates in here. If you are ever at a loss for what to send, like just some really good stuff in here. Okay. So that came from me looking for an email template to send out to my sellers, which I'll show in a minute here. But not, coincidentally, I suppose, one of our new co-marketing partners in California sent me this guide yesterday with some email marketing tips and tricks and best practices. And it's a 34-page report. We're not going to go through all of it. But page 19 in particular, I thought there were some great takeaways and things for consideration when we're talking about sending an email like yesterday's Smokin' Hot Deals, or sending an email like our Friday bucket list email. When is best, basically. Right. When is best. Now, I'll show right here. It says Fridays are the worst weekday, especially in the real estate industry. Yeah. But, what I'm finding is it's working on some level, although maybe I should test Thursday Saturday morning and that bucket list. I would send that one Saturday morning, Josh. They're just, people are, in my experience, they're kind of around. I don't know. Well, so that's interesting, right? So this is a great illustration that you have to test and figure out what works for you in your market, and not just that, but also like when you'll do something, because an idea executed on is better than one that you just think about, right? So there's the best practices, and then there's actually implementing the idea, because. And my point is, according to this report, weekends and holidays are the worst because only the half of the number of people who would normally read your email will do so. Sure. I mean, I don't know. But what that might mean for me is at least I'm going to test. I'll probably test both. I'll test Thursday afternoon for sending my what is normally my Friday bucket list email, and maybe I'll try Saturday morning. There's interesting thinking there, actually, because you got to think about who the intended audience is.
if you're sending an email to investors who are more like business minded about real estate, I actually think the weekends are good because they're going to be checking their phone constantly. That's the profile.
Right. Well, and maybe many of them are so busy at work during the week that that's the time where they, they have some bandwidth to think about, their first or their next investment property or
you just don't know until you test, though.
Exactly. There's some great information in here, some great thoughts or ideas in here. We will also get this added to the community and to the Facebook group. But the thing I would emphasize above all else is you just got to do stuff and see what works. You just got to do stuff and see what works. Couple more email thoughts and ideas to put a bow on these email tips and tricks. So yesterday I sent out, I thought I had it pulled up here. But yesterday I sent out that Smokin' Hot deals list. I am going to test next week not sending through KV Core because I have a feeling that
that was going to be my tip, Josh, by the way, the answer to Todd's
yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that the deliverability was not ideal, let's say. And there's also something to not having everything, like I know it's cool and sexy to think about having everything under one roof and this all-in-one solution. But if you think about it, KV Core, it is a wonderful all-in-one solution. But they're not, that doesn't, they can't possibly be excellent at email.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly. Versus something like, and there are lots of great solutions, but Constant Contact, MailChimp, Get Response. Ryan, you've been having a ton of success with ConvertKit, right? Where they more specialize in that thing, which means you're going to get more, more from that, right? If you're going to do the work, let's make sure that we're getting the most from that work. And the other thing about that is I can't track the open rates. I can't track a lot of things. Now, all of that said, there were some great things that have come from this Smokin' Hot Deals email. And
they get through. I mean, it's not to say that it's not going to get through. What you're gunning for now is a refinement where you get a higher percentage through.
And not only that, but just more data where I can fine tune things and really get it dialed in. Because when it's 6,000, it's one thing. When it's 10,000, 15,000, it could end up being a lot of missed opportunity.
Josh, just one thing to test is try putting are you using trackable bit.lys or some kind of Rebrandly link or something?
No, although that email, so this email had the built-in KV Core shorteners.
Gotcha.
Which I don't know. That may or may not be good or bad. I don't really know. But I won't know for sure until I test more. Okay. Yeah. Until I try some different things. So
I don't want people to get the message they shouldn't use KV Core for emailing, because you don't want to let that stop your momentum. I think once you're in the swing of things, if you start to optimize, these are the things you try. But don't go out there and say, "Oh, I'm not going to use KV Core for email because Josh is using something else."
Get the car going and then course correct. But don't let it stop you. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good or getting started, right? There's no perfect execution on any of this, right? Because if I had let that happen yesterday, I wouldn't have gotten the email out. And in fact, that's why I ended up sending it through KV Core, because in thinking through what I needed to do, if I wanted to send it through BombBomb, let's say, it was going to take too many extra steps. And I wanted to get it out, because by getting it out, I can start to get some feedback from the market, and I can make next week's version better in some way, shape, or form, or at least hopefully, or test something different. So for those curious, here is the email script for sellers that I was searching for, which led me to finding Ryan's document. That was a great bit, nugget to find. And this is going out. This is scheduled to go out any minute now to the seller segment of my database. And yesterday, the Smokin' Hot deals went out to the buyer segment of my database. And so I wanted to send something out to the seller segment as well. So the subject, name your price, first name, question mark. Name your price, Ryan, question mark. Morning, Ryan. Obviously, the real estate market has shifted over the last 6 to 9 months, and interest rates are double what they were a year ago, right? So I'm like I'm speaking to what's actually happening. And I don't know if this is any good because I ended up writing this from scratch essentially with the idea of the name your price because I couldn't find the actual name your price template that I was looking for. And yet we're still dealing with historically low inventory of homes for sale, which means if you're thinking about selling, you still may be able to quote unquote name your price. Just curious, is there a number that would make it a no-brainer for you to go ahead and sell your property at? And then I merged in their property address because all of the sellers that I have, the seller segment, I have their property address. Let me know. Thanks, Josh. Depending on the home you'd be looking to trade into, there may still be massive opportunity for you to take advantage of the huge equity gains we've all experienced over the last 2 to 3 years. I don't know if it's any good. I don't know if I'll get any kind of responses. I don't know what kind of responses I'll get, but I know that we'll share. I'll share what happens tomorrow and the next day on these shows. You never know until you try. Never know until you try.
So Lance is asking for an easy button email system. I really like ConvertKit. I'll strategically drop my affiliate link in full transparency right here. Our affiliate link. We're probably gonna be talking a little bit more about ConvertKit as an option. Josh, I don't know what you plan to use next week. Maybe
I think I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
What I think I'm going to do is use ConvertKit with KV Core links and a BombBomb video embed. Or maybe I won't even use a BombBomb. Maybe I'll use or I'll use a YouTube.
ConvertKit actually lets you drop either, I think it's Vimeo or YouTube. You can drop it right in the body the same way that BombBomb reacts. You might not get the analytics you get on the video itself, but you get great analytics on the email.
Right. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll create a unlisted YouTube video and I'll blast it out that way. And so one last thing I'll say before I think Ryan has some things to share as far as some of those early test results is I haven't directly gotten anyone wanting to schedule time to look at any of the 4 smoking hot deals.
What's wrong with those people?
I know, but what I do know for sure is people are clicking on the links to look at the properties because I can see it in my KV Core dashboard. And I've spent some time this morning following up with those people to see if they would like more info or a private VIP tour. And that's, that is one of the many things that I do love about KV Core is some of that sort of stealthy behind the scenes, the sort of stalking of your database that you can do and see what they are, what properties they're looking at, what properties they're favoriting, and what activity they're taking on your website. So really good stuff. Really good stuff. Mark says the link doesn't work. We'll get the link for that. And honestly, like if you want to check it out or try it, go right ahead. But let me be the guinea pig. Like Ryan already knows it, likes it, whatever. It may not be the best way to execute this idea, right? Yeah. So if you want to check it out, I think one of the things you did mention though, Ryan, it's nice you can try it for free without a credit card.
Yeah, you can get a free account and they let you do a lot there without upgrading. I just like the interface. It's without www. I'm still dealing with this stupid domain registrar and it's
so drop the www.
Stuff. It's so silly. I had this domain registrar where like you buy bulk domains, but it's a nightmare on this stuff. So I got to move them all to Namecheap.
Namecheap. I love it.
Yep. So you want to go on just an update on this PPC stuff? Is that kind of what?
Let's so again, I referenced this earlier, but let me do the callback. So Ryan on Monday afternoon dropped a video on the channel, 6 or 7 minutes, about some quick campaigns he created on Google pay-per-click and Facebook pay-per-click with the goal or the what they're being optimized for is for someone to actually call in to the Forever Florida real estate office. And it's an objective that you can choose on both of those campaigns, or I'm sorry, both of those platforms as a campaign type. And it's been not quite 48 hours, right, Ryan?
Yeah, about 40. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Not quite. So it hasn't been that long.
Yeah. So if you're curious on this, you can go back and check out that video. It's on the channel. It was Monday, published Monday, 6 or 7 minutes with Ryan. But again, this is an example of let us be the guinea pigs and figure out, if this is something worth doing. So this is the Facebook data.
Complete and utter bomb on Facebook. Like just sometimes Facebook, I'm like, well, how is this possible? 15 unique clicks, on the ad itself, but no phone number clicks.
So I was going to, I didn't want to, what's that? What's that phrase? I didn't want to like pollute the yeah, I didn't want to spoil things.
Well,
but
the offer isn't great. Yeah.
Okay. But I've tried this as well, and I have gotten a few calls, but literally, like, I had to spend $300 to get 3 or 4 calls, and 1 or 2 of them were like, it was really like 1 or 2 calls. The other 1 or 2 were, do you have a 1-bedroom Section 8, apartment for rent? Which is still a call, but it's not the call I was looking for.
I'm not going to give up on Facebook yet, but I do think it needs to be call to listen to a recording about XYZ, old school direct response. So, 5 creative financing offers that will help you buy a home with no down payment. Call now to listen to a recording
of this, because I would not have thought of that.
Because they don't want to talk to. Oh, my ad is literally like, hey, you want to call and talk to an agent? No.
Right. Yeah.
So,
no one wants to do that.
I'll call this a dud, but still, I'm like, come on, Facebook, $80. Like, you can't optimize the ad for 1 click. So I'm going to turn this one off. Now, Google is a little more promising. And I had to switch my columns. Just a tip here. You can switch the columns and modify so that it shows you the actual phone call leads versus the web form submits, because Google makes.
I think there's an obvious reason why Google is more promising is because Google is intent-based searching and Facebook is interruption-based marketing or advertising, right? People are not specifically going to Facebook to look up and call a real estate office, but they do that on Google.
Yep.
And that's a great reason why I think your idea or something along those lines has a much better likelihood of being successful on Facebook. Information, right? Interrupting their pattern and then offering free information that, oh, by the way, they just have to call and listen to a recording to get that.
Yep. And we haven't done that on Google yet either. I want to do the call-in idea, but I need software to do that. I have to find something that'll let me play the voicemail. But the interesting thing here, this is a very small area. It's gotten 33 clicks on the ad, and it got 4 conversions, which means 3 of the people went and submitted the lead form just to search properties in the area.
Okay.
And that was a landing page. That's a little bit lower on the conversion rate. Actually, it's not. Now that I look at it, it's about in line with our condo and our new construction campaigns that have been running for years. So actually, it's not bad. The cost per lead is $16. But we did get a phone call straight off that tracked as a conversion. And I think Google requires the phone call to last a certain amount of time. I need to look that up. Like, I don't think they call it a phone call conversion unless the connection is a certain length.
Actually made. Yeah. And there's an actual conversation or something like that.
The reason I'm excited about this is because I just did this in one tiny little town in our county, the market we serve. I can expand this out and run it in probably like 15 other specific town names,
right?
And plan to generate probably 15 calls a day as I optimize.
So this for me is really small. What has been spent so far? And it's only because I can't see the full screen here.
Yeah.
How much has been spent so far?
Yeah, so spent so far is $64.
Okay.
We got 33 clicks from Google. 3 of them opted into KV Core, and I look, there's search activity, so they opted in. And then you can see that they looked at some properties because there was high intent, like and then one of them clicked the call button, and had a conversation at least. I think it's 30 seconds with our
the other big difference between Google pay-per-click and Facebook pay-per-click is in theory, this will perform better over time.
Yes.
Whereas a Facebook ad campaign in most scenarios and situations will perform worse over time.
Yeah, and you got to constantly manage it.
Refresh the media and the offer, etc.
Look at these 2 campaigns. Josh, I've talked about these with you before, but this is insane. Like this new construction ad and the condo ad, 1,500 leads and 757 leads. It just runs for years, and I barely touch it. $9 a lead, $8 a lead, high intent off Google.
Well, and
you don't get that with
Google
Facebook.
So, and Google, that's going to be probably next week, maybe this week still, setting them up for me for that same offer that we know worked organically. We know is working with Facebook paid ads. We're going to test that on Google as well as just another way to get more people into the Smokin' Hot Deals bucket.
I think in your market, I want to do acreage. You got to kind of like here, people are looking for condos. In your market, again, the theory on these top two, and we need to go into this in a separate episode. The theory on these top two is these are just people searching St. Pete real estate, the short tail keywords, and then we're offering a niche offer to them. So,
and I would say that the recently price reduced homes is a niche. Now that's a lot of text, right? And you have minimal to work with, and depending on that. So we'll play around with that, and we'll be sharing all of that for sure.
The important thing about these, they set the stage for the follow up too. Yeah. Price reduces for me. Price reduces is a little generic because it could be anybody. Anyway, if the property type is more specific, let's get off this. Anyway, the phone call thing looks interesting, so I'm going to try to scale that out.
More to come on that as we get more data, right, and more information. Todd Retkowski, great question. What are your thoughts on Google Screen? So Todd is referring to what are called Google Local Services ads. Google Local Services ads, where you pay Google for your Google business listing to be featured and specifically to get calls or messages. They're like direct messages. And I love that platform. I would highly recommend that you check it out. And in fact, Todd or anyone else on here, if you email mike@growwithjosh.com, mike@growwithjosh.com, we've got a free series of trainings and tutorials, etc., around optimizing your Google business listing and creating Google Local Services ads. And we'll be happy to just give that to you for those that are interested. Josh, what I have found is I got some great results early on and not so much anymore.
Do you have to set this up separate from AdWords?
Yes. There's a whole like verification process. You have to show like you have to prove that you're actually licensed. It's a yes, there's a verification process where they vet you to make sure that like you're an actual real estate agent who's actually licensed, who actually blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. So look at that. I was not aware of that. Okay. A couple more things before we're going to have to wrap up and call it a day. Kind of off topic. What is Facebook professional mode and should we turn it on? I don't know. Facebook professional one. I know Instagram has like a, I don't know if they call it professional or if they call it business. And I would highly recommend that, but I'm not sure what Facebook professional mode. I mean, this may be egg on our face. I don't know what that means.
Google it.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. Maybe more to come on that. I don't, I haven't heard anything from anyone that's all that,
Oh yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
So we've got verification that it's a thing. That's a thing. The cat.
She just destroyed my mouse.
All right. So here's what we're doing. Rest of the week. Okay. Rest of the week. And I'm going to tease a few things for next week as well. So tomorrow I want to show for Tech Tip Thursday, I want to show how I've been creating short form videos with photos, websites, even scrolling video behind me, like as a green screen video. It's so easy. And the content, I think, is really interesting when you make it that way. And there's a couple of different ways that you can create those. And I'm going to attempt to show by mirroring my phone to show you how you can create those. And then I'm going to show you where and how I've been posting those all over the interwebs, on as Instagram Reels, as Facebook Reels, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on TikTok, as a YouTube short, blah, 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 right? So you can start to model that and show you sort of the quick and easy way to be doing that. In fact, today, just some foreshadowing, today I am going running my kids around. I'm stopping at 2 properties that were on my Smokin' Hot Deals list. and I'm going to shoot a short teaser video in front of those properties and syndicate using that process as well. So we're going to dig into that tomorrow. Friday is Free Leads Friday, so we'll be digging into more free strategies that you can use to grow your database and sell more homes, get more clients, etc. And next week we've got a bonus session. We'll have our normally scheduled shows throughout the week, but we've got a bonus session Tuesday afternoon, specifically on seller lead generation and conversion, and a great tool and software that several folks on here are using, and how you can use it, and in doing so, have access to cash offers in your market and some other really cool functionality that will help if you are prospecting for sale by owners, if you're prospecting expired listings, if you're prospecting absentee owners, if you're prospecting any type of seller specific prospecting you may be doing. This will be a great add-on to that as well. So
that the Facebook creators thing looks like it's invite only right now. I just signed up. It's facebook.com/creators. And it looks interesting. It looks like they're trying to do
mode. That's what that was being referred to.
Yeah, the professional mode. It's kind of like they're trying to go the YouTube route around their reels. So it's definitely something that seems interesting.
Okay, wait a minute. This is perfect. I think I'm already signed up for that because Facebook has actually paid me money for my reels. So I think
we got to get snippets from these shows on there, So
yeah, totally.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was professional mode. I do remember the creator thing. I remember getting an email like early last year. I think it's kind of trailing off because it was a way for them to incentivize people to be putting that content out, because they wanted to push more of that content because that content was, popular on TikTok and Instagram Reels, et cetera. And they were trying to build out that same sort of watch time, right? Because the more that they keep your eyeballs on their platform, the more they can, the more money they can make. Absolutely. Winifred, the special session on Tuesday will be at 1 Eastern. 1 Eastern. We're going to live stream it like we do these shows, and then it'll be available on demand immediately afterward as well. So great question, and appreciate that. Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Guys. Subscribe, like, comment, share, tag a teammate, a referral partner, etc. If you're watching or listening on your favorite podcast app, please subscribe, rate, and review. If you need any help with any of this stuff, if you have any questions about anything that we're doing, if you want to schedule a time to chat about our co-marketing, I can never point. It's always confusing to me. I can never point at but you can schedule a time to chat at josh15.com. I'd love to chat with you about what we're doing on the co-marketing side to bring back warm referrals. And in fact, one of our personal marketing assistants that are working with our co-marketing partners, he just called me, which means we've got someone ready to be handed off as a warm referral back to one of our co-marketing partners, which is pretty cool.
And I'll plug as we leave. Don't forget about Expiromatic.
Yes, check that out.
Josh15.com.
All right. And Expiromatic, Ryan, I'm going to put this out there into the universe because this will hold our feet to the fire. We're going to do a little, case study or sharing of some of that, the stats and data on that here coming soon for those who are interested in Expiromatic. You can see under the hood a little bit and get a better idea of what that is, how it works, and why you would want to check it out and use it as another pipe or another pillar of potential listings for you right now.
Do you hear that?
I don't hear that.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, no, I thought, well, I want to hear it now. I thought you were just messing with us. Anyway, rock music for Wake Up Real Estate. Episode 18 is in the can. Oh, here we go.
I'm just playing with the streaming functionality. All right, guys.
Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah, we'll get better at some of the streaming functionality too. All right. Thanks for spending some time with us today. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And in the meantime, if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask.